The RayBan Meta Gen 2 glasses versus the good old original RayBan Metas. What are the differences and is it worth the upgrade? Let's dive right into it. And starting it off directly is with what comes inside the box. Now luckily, both the original and second generation Ray-Bans come with the same goods included. And that goes from your start manual and your safety and warranty guide to the microfiber cloth that you can use to clean up your lenses. But that also means that you will have an identical charging case for both of them, in which you will find your glasses itself. So if you have another one of those already laying at home, then you can always reuse them or swap them out if it breaks. And honestly, at first glance, you won't be able to tell the differences between these glasses from the outside looks alone. However, one way to keep them apart is that at the moment the Gen 1s only have two models still available from the Meta website, which are the iconic Wayfarer and Skylar versions, while the new ones though also have the so-called headliner in addition to this lineup. And secondly, is that the Gen 2 Ray-Bans have a bunch of more color options for you to choose from, but more on that later. Because let's talk about some actual big hardware differences between them. And the first one can be seen when it comes to the built-in cameras. Since here, the Gen 2s can now record videos in up to 3K at 30 frames per second, while the previous models were sadly capped to a total of 1080p when it comes to that video capture. But surprisingly, the photo quality for both of them are on par with each other, letting you shoot in 4K thanks to their 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera. And one thing that a lot of people have missed is that while Mark Zuckerberg announced that their new slow-mo and time-lapse modes were coming to their Gen 2 glasses during their Meta Connect event, both of these options are also coming to the original Ray-Ban Metas. So no matter which one you have, you won't be missing out on any of these features. But moving on, we have the second big hardware difference, and that is the battery. Now the Gen 1 can last you up to 4 hours on a single charge, with the case adding another 32 hours to this when you're on the go. But the second generation now has double the battery capacity at 8 hours on a charge, and a total of 48 additional hours when in the case, making this point also one of their main selling points for the new iteration. But when we look at the rest of the hardware, they kept almost all of the same tech within here. And that goes from your built-in open-ear speakers to your 5 microphone array and even the same 32 gigabytes of flash storage for your photos and videos. Oh, and don't worry about quickly running out of space, because when you import your images to your phone, then this will clear up that flash storage on your device, making sure that you have more than enough room left on there all the time. Which gets us also to another important part of the hardware, and that is the lenses. Now, while both have their standard clear and dark lenses, you can nowadays also get their special transition ones, which can automatically change their colors depending on the light of your surroundings. But the Gen 2 glasses have some extra options in here. For example, for their transition ones, you can also choose their sapphire color or gray compared to your standard green. Although, both do provide the option to include your prescription lenses to them. And these can go from -6 all the way up to +4. And if you already own an original pair of Ray-Bans, then it is good to know that you can swap out your previous lenses into the new ones, since these are the same size and depth. But that gets us to the software, with directly their biggest feature being, of course, the Meta AI. Now keep in mind though, that both of these have the same functionality when it comes to their built-in AI capabilities. But if you are located outside of the US, then depending on the country that you live in, you might not have access to all of these features thanks to some regulations out there. Either way, the Meta AI can help you out with your day-to-day tasks just like ChatGPT or any other version you're using on the daily. With the main difference that this one is directly accessible from your face. And the cool extra though is that unlike any other one, the RayBan Meta smart glasses can use your cameras and microphone to see and hear what you're looking at. And this can allow for things like live translating languages for you when you're talking with someone right in front of you. Or you could ask Meta some questions regarding the things or objects that you're seeing. And the newly announced conversation focus, which will make it possible for you to hear what someone is saying, even though you're in a loud environment, is also coming to both glasses. Now, of course, besides the unique Meta AI features, you can do some other things in here too, such as pick up calls, send messages, or even listen to your favorite music. And that is just scratching the surface of the things you can do. Think also about making notes and asking for directions, or even planning things for you to do with your friends. But what I like about it most is that new stuff gets added to this list of options constantly, making it possible to use your glasses in different ways that you wouldn't even think about before. Just don't forget though, that you will still need a phone that has the Meta AI app on it in order to use most of these functionalities. And that goes for transferring the photos and videos that you took, to simply changing up your settings and much more. And these smart glasses both also can work with Wi-Fi 6 so that those transfers will go as quick as they can. And obviously, Bluetooth will be used to do these things as well, with both of them having version 5.3. And the glasses will also work with Android and iOS. So no matter what phone you have in your pocket, you should be able to connect them to it as long as they are up to date. And knowing Meta, they will also keep updating their hardware with new functions and features in the future. So you won't have to worry about losing support for your device anytime soon. But that gets us to the most important difference between them, and that is the price. Now, the Gen 1 RayBan Meta glasses come in at $299, and that price stays the same even after the release of their newer versions, while the new second generation now starts at $379 instead. Although, keep in mind that the price does go up if you add the previously mentioned transition optics to it, or if you want to have your own prescription lenses built into them. For example, the translucent and green tint will stay at the base price, while the matte black bumps it up to $409. And the other transition lenses make it go all the way up to $459. But interestingly though, this increase is even more drastic when it comes to the base Meta Ray-Bans, because while here, the translucent and green tint keep it once again at $299, the matte black puts it up to $329, and the transition glasses increase it all the way up to $379, making this basically the same price as the Generation 2 glasses. So in that case, this option probably is not worth it for most people, since the Gen 2s would make a lot more sense right now. But that is sadly not all. Because if you want to have them include the previously mentioned prescriptions, then you will have to at least add another $100 to it and $140 if you want that blue light filter in them, making some of these total options more than $500 at the end of the day. And that is pretty damn expensive for some smart glasses. But luckily, Meta does often have some special discounts or reductions going on. So if those are there, then I'll make sure to leave some links in the description below so that you can at least get a bit of a reduction on the price whenever possible. Which also gets us to the final conclusion. Now both the original and the second generation RayBan Meta glasses are absolutely some awesome smart glasses. But there are some main differences that might make one better than the other one in your situation. Because on one side, we have the Generation 2 glasses that have double the battery life at 8 hours on a single charge, while also adding in the possibility to take videos in up to 3K. But they come in at that higher price tag of $379. While on the other side, we have the original RayBan Meta glasses that has some identical photo quality and all of the same AI features that include slow-mo and time-lapses, as well as the conversation focus, but then at a much lower cost of $299 instead. And of course, these prices will even go lower if you look on that second-hand market. But that's not all, because if you want the true best smart glasses that Meta has to offer, then there are also the Meta RayBan display glasses. So click on the video that you see on screen right now to make sure you don't miss out on all the things that you need to know before you buy them. And of course, stay awesome.